Hello there, and welcome to the Health and Wellness Habit Change webinar. My name is John Garcia. I'm a certified health coach, and I'll be guiding you through this webinar today. My goal here today is to help you discover how your habits determine really the quality of your health and wellness lifestyle, how long it takes to make a habit, how a habit is formed, how you can create a new habit. In fact, we are going to use this webinar to show you how you can create a new exercise habit today. But before we get into that, I want to kind of walk you through some questions. And we want to talk about the quality of your life, obviously, specifically speaking to the health part of it. Right now, are you able to still enjoy playing activities that you enjoy, whether it be golf or tennis or squash, whatever it may be? Or how about just the simple act of walking up and down steps or playing with your kids and grandkids without going out of breath? The quality of your life over the next 10 years, if you can imagine that, what does it look like? The truth is that one out of every two Americans, sadly, lives the last 10 years in sickness. Put another way, a quote you may have heard is, if you don't make time for your wellness now, you'll be forced to make time for your illness later. Again, sadly, 50% of adults have at least one chronic disease, and 25%, a quarter of us, have two or more. So where do you see yourself in this timeline, in this quality of life looking forward? And have you gained, let's say looking back the last 5 or 10 years, have you gained a few pounds? Are you taking more medication? Do you feel more tired and sluggish and brain fog? Because if you are, then obviously you're trending in the wrong direction, and we want to correct that, and we can correct that. Chronic illnesses are the reason I really wanted to do this webinar and create my habit change course, because you can reverse many chronic illnesses simply by creating the new lifestyle with new habits. We are in bad shape, and I mean that literally and figuratively, physically and mentally. We're in bad shape, and the scariest part really is that we're kind of numb to these statistics. No one raises an eyebrow anymore when, we talk about nearly 50% of the population being obese, and the numbers continuing to trend in that direction. So we've reached this point, ever mounting health problems for many different reasons. But the reason we remain stuck here is that our habits support an unhealthy lifestyle. So what's it going to take to change that? Well, you hear people don't change until they change their habits. I've heard it many times. People, don't change, but I see people changing every day. And the reason is, I know what it takes. And until we change our habits, we cannot achieve the healthy lifestyle that we all want and deserve. So let me introduce myself again. My name is John Garcia. I'm a certified health coach for family medicine of Boca Raton and Palm Beach Medical in West Palm Beach, Florida. I'm also a certified trainer at the Exercise Coach in Boca Raton and the author of the Midlife Total Transformation Manual. At 50 years old, I'm definitely blessed to say that I'm in the best physical and mental shape of my life. In fact, the metabolic age reading on my scale, if you look over here, is 43. So I'm just turning 51. It's literally reversing aging, because of diet, because of exercise, because of managing and controlling stress, and the habits that I've created to support healthy lifestyles. There's no doubt that no matter what age you are, your best years are ahead of you. I started on my transformation journey at age 43. There's a picture of, 7 years ago and now. And yes, I'm proud of it that, that the physical results will come, but it's the mental results. It's just the focus, the clarity, the purpose that have changed my life. And that's what I want, to help you understand habit change can do for you. But I want to ask you, do you think it's possible for you to get healthy? Really, where are you, and are you just kind of feel like you've given up? Is it possible for you to get healthy, feel great, and get back a life that is fulfilling? Bottom line is, if you feel like you're struggling to maintain good health and wellness, and that everything you've tried to this point seems to fall short, then I really truly believe you've come to the right place. I want to ask you to, really put the phone away, prop yourself up, and, pay attention for the next 20, 30 minutes. I think you're going to be, it's going to go a long way in these changes you want to make. So I'm going to present basically a new possibility for you, because as a health coach who specializes in habit change, that's actually my job, is to show you what's truly possible for your life. At the end of this webinar, if you like what you see, I'll ask you to, schedule a no obligation phone call that we can do a consultation at no charge. You could stop by the office if you live in Boca Raton, or, there'll be a link if you want to enroll in the online habit change course. Whatever that next step may be, I really want to help guide you to take that, to take it. And first of all, I want to quickly start with my own quality of life journey. In my 20s, although I was relatively active and in shape, my cholesterol level was in the 300s. And no wonder I was eating nothing but junk. But, I'll never forget that day in the waiting room when the nurse comes out and she calls my name. She was expecting a much older man, based on the numbers and the cholesterol. So in spite of enjoying sports and being active as I age, I really slowed down quite a bit. And I didn't even realize it, that I was just kind of letting myself go. At age 43, it came to a head, and my sedentary lifestyle and poor diet habits, as well as definitely a big part of it, unmanaged stress, triggered a panic attack. I remember that morning I was driving on my way to work. My whole body started shaking, and it reached its breaking point. I was literally shutting down. It was a panic attack. At that moment, I realized it was time to make some dramatic changes, or I would end up kind of, another tragic statistic. Unfortunately, the path back to wellness is not so clearly identified. Everyone tells you lose weight, exercise, eat right, get some sleep, but there really aren't too many habit change courses out there. So from the best meaning doctors to all of the health and wellness options that are out there, it can be even more overwhelming and really quite confusing to figure out what's the best for your health journey. More often than not, you end up more frustrated than when you started, and people decide it's just easier to remain the same and just deal with it. Still, I knew that for me, remaining the same was not an option, and I continued to look for answers. Ironically, a book I read nearly 30 years ago, and a book I often would tell others about, found its way back into my life, and I was, blessed by it. It's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. It reminded me that, really, I'm only as good as my habits that support my lifestyle. And if I change my habits, I would change my life. So this book is really good about telling you what habits are most important, but it really doesn't show you how to create the habits. So I decided I really needed to find a way to, create new habits. And here's, some of the reasoning behind it. Your mind and body, they love habits. It's how you're able to do so many things without going crazy, right? Imagine if every action you took required conscious thought and contemplation. Things like your morning and bedtime routine, your tasks at work, your chores or responsibilities at home. Many of them are things you once had to think about, but are now just automatic, and you barely even realize that you're doing them. Some studies show that humans act on habits as much as 80 to 90% of the time. Even people who are thought conscious still operate on habits about 50% of the time. Imagine that. We are really on autopilot at least half of the day. So unfortunately, excessive eating, drinking, smoking, these bad habits, they become habits as well, these bad behaviors. Your mind and body doesn't discriminate. In fact, most of the bad or unhealthy habits tend to become habits much quicker and are much harder to break. I'm not telling you anything you don't know right now. But the reason why is because of the feel-good responses that they create. And I'll get into that a little more later on. But for now, know that habits are how your mind and body automate things to essentially ease the burden of effort, of thought, of consciousness, and especially of uncomfortable effort. It definitely wants the easy way out, even if it's not the best thing for it. Okay, so I know I talk fast, but if you're with me so far, I know that you're serious about wanting to transform your life. So let's talk about how a habit is made and how long it takes to create a new habit, because that's how you're going to achieve your transformation. All right, I'm all about changing your habits, change your life. So if I asked you, how long does it take to create a habit? You would probably say 21 days. Most people have been told somewhere, there was this little book that we turned to that said habits take 21 days. But here's a little hint. It doesn't take 21 days. It takes 66 days. Now, again, is it exactly 66 days? Maybe, maybe not. But some of the best studies and the best research do show it takes at least 66 days. Now, what I'm going to show you is a way to create new habits in this webinar that take actually 90 days. Okay. because I'm going to use a method that works, that's attainable, that's achievable. But you would say, why would you enroll for something that takes, first of all, something you thought took only 21 days to actually take 66 days. But in my course and the way I teach is going to take 90 days, right? Why would you sign up for that? Well, again, because to create a habit in 66 days, you literally have to repeat the action every day for 66 days. It takes that long for your body to automate the process. I don't know anyone who's perfect. No matter how dedicated you are in the gym, in the diet, and the exercise, no one's perfect. Worse yet, what happens that day that you don't do the behavior, right? I guess you quit. I mean, if you go 44 days and then you miss a day, then it's not 66 days. You're going to start over again? No one. And that's why many people quit. Okay, so creating a new habit really shouldn't be something that compares to training for a triathlon or swimming in the English Channel. Yet many of my clients go into it thinking that it really is going to be that difficult. Part of it is all the stuff, right, that you've tried before to change that hasn't worked. All the diets, that soon after it ended, your weight came back, or exercise programs that didn't last and left you even more defeated when you started. Even all the words of wisdom from well-meaning family members, left you even feeling more incapable of change. Life really, though, is not do or don't do, right? It's really progress or lack of progress. So this is something you do every day and you build, and small steps lead to big changes. So let's talk a little bit about the science behind the habit, how it's formed. This is real science to it. So there is 3 parts. A habit is formed as a trigger, a response, and a reward. Something triggers an automated response that results in a feel-good reward. So to form a habit, you need all 3. And to break a habit, you need to choose a different response. I'll go talk about breaking a habit a little more later, but this is what I use to create an exercise habit in my life. So before we go out to set or change or create a habit, we need to take a step back. You saw the trigger, response, reward. That's all great. But you really need to work on the foundation, okay? If the work of habit change feels like a sacrifice, you may be right. A sacrifice is actually letting go of something you either are very accustomed to or you enjoy for the sake of replacing it with something better, knowing that it will be difficult to do so. So there's going to be some sacrifices here. That's why I remind you all about the reward. That investment you're making in this uncomfortable effort and time will result in living the best life you ever imagined. So we need to, really keep our eye on that reward. Keeping that in mind, we need to discover the why. This sounds cliche. You've heard it everywhere, but why do we want to change? It's our why that drives our how. So to build a new habit, we start with defining that something better. What is that something better? What is that reward? We want to make it clear and tangible, and we call it the why beneath the why. So if I ask you if you want to change, you may say, why do you want to change? You may say, well, I want to get healthy. Okay, great. Then I ask you, well, why do you want to get healthy? And you say, because I want to feel better. And then I ask you, well, what will feeling better do for you? And you say, I'll be able to move around more. And I'll ask you, why does moving around more matter so much to you? And you say, because right now, I get tired so fast and it's so difficult to move that I miss out on a lot of family parties and get-togethers with friends. I've lost my social life and I don't like the isolation. Bam. Now you know your why, because you know your why beneath your why. It took several layers of digging, but you were able to identify the real reason why you need to change. And really just as important, that you need to change now. You don't want to be in isolation anymore. So we all have our own unique why. That's the exercise that we teach in the course of finding out the why beneath the why. And it's really course lesson number 1, right? Making yourself a priority and connecting to your why. So anyway, we all have our own unique why, but many of us have not clearly identified it. Once you do, people, everything changes, because you'll go from motivation, which is fleeting and doesn't last, and most of you already know that, to inspiration, this thing that's inside you, which is what you need to fuel your transformation. So armed with your why, you can go about the business of habit change. If you just try to go into habit change without identifying it, more than likely you're going to fail. So let me be clear before we move on. Your why fuels the logs that burn deep inside your belly, that fuel of your inspiration. Things like goals and motivation and desires are just matches that help light that fire. But those matches are required in order to light them. I mean, I'm not taking that away from them. We need the light. But think about it. Motivation, it doesn't empower you unless you feed it. You know, you need a motivational quote. You need a motivational picture. So you have to feed it. Sometimes those logs will take an enormous amount of time to light, but once they do, once they're really burning, there's really nothing to turn them off. They're on fire. Now you got your why, it's on fire, and there's really no stopping it. So I hope you understand that motivation, these things are good, but your why is that fire that's going to fuel your inspiration, that's going to make it last forever. Really, nothing's going to take that away from you. So exciting stuff. This is where the magic happens. As I said, habits take 66 days, not 21 days, like many people have been taught. But so now we're talking about a little over 2 months, or just a little more than most people endure before giving up. So many of us have made sincere efforts to change and gave up or fell back on bad habits when we were so close to the finish line. So now I'm going to tell you a little bit about why this is different and my 80-20 method, which takes 90 days to create a new habit. And I want you to see how it works. So 80-20 is a proven technique used by many of the most successful health coaches in the industry. Honestly, I kind of stumbled across it. It wasn't part of my training, but once I discovered it, man, did I hold on to it. The reason it works is because you work towards being in alignment with your health and wellness goals at least 80% of the time. And you leave what I call room for life in the other 20% of the time. Using this approach changes everything because it's not really a succeed or fail method, but rather a method of gradual growth. These small steps, trust, and self-care that builds a little each day. This is the approach that after 90 days results in new, healthy, sustainable habits, that change you and take you from trying to being. And it's really powerful. You become a new person. It's how I lost 40 pounds. I dropped 100 points in cholesterol, and how at age 50 and now 51, I'm in the best shape of my life, taking no medications and doing all the things that I want to do. This 80-20 method works. I'm proud of my before and after because, I know I did the work to make the changes. No one did it for me. No pill could cure me. It was my why that anchored my behaviors to my beliefs, resulting in habit change. That's your formula right there, people. It's your why that anchors your behaviors to your beliefs, resulting in habit change that really support my new healthy lifestyle. So here's a glimpse of the 80-20 habit track worksheet. And you have the days of the week across the top, and you have these 8 areas that we track as a foundation to health and wellness. So it includes, obviously all the meal parts: breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and water. And then we also track movement, mindset, and sleep. Okay, so how does it work? Well, you can use it really for any habit you want to develop, but we're going to start with what we call the 8 pillars of health. The first 5 actually can be rolled into kind of one category being diet. Again, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and water, or basically what you put in your mouth each day. Quite literally, our health, depends greatly on what we put in our mouths, which is a good thing because we are actually in control of that, believe it or not. No one feeds you. You choose what goes in, so we can change what we're choosing right now. So the other pillars are movement, mindset, and sleep. Movement being really anything that makes up exercise. Mindset being anything that helps you manage and control stress. And then outside of diet and exercise and sleep, well, sleep is sleep. If you're not getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night, you are slowly degenerating because it's while we sleep that our body generates new cell growth. So sleep has really a lot of other amazing benefits, and anyone who is not getting good sleep knows just how difficult it is to even perform everyday mundane tasks when you haven't gotten enough sleep, let alone focus on making your health a priority. But people, sleep is much more than rest. I mean, sleep is literally the third most important thing. It's diet, exercise, and sleep that your body needs. So now that we've kind of identified these areas, this foundation we want to initially improve, we set out to measure our efforts because really you can't improve what you don't measure. that's the genius of the 80/20 habit tracker. We've developed it because it makes it so simple to track and simple to sustain. So you simply place a check mark when you're on plan and an X when you're not. Your goal at the end of the week is to have at least 44 out of the 56 possible check marks. If you continue that progress in 90 days, you'll reach that goal and your mind and body will develop this new healthy wellness baseline. So here's kind of a chart so you can see what it looks like. Over here on the corner, I'm going to move this for a minute, my little head, is day one, right? So this line here is if you were on plan every day, consistently, consecutively for 66 days, you'll reach habit change at day 66, right? Makes sense. You did not miss a day. Again, there is no perfect people. This is what we set ourselves up to do. And this is why we usually fail, because we set this unrealistic, benchmark. Now, here's my 80/20 approach. You get a few good days, you miss a day. A few good days, you miss a day. A few good days, you miss a day. A few good days. So basically, overall, you're getting about 5.5 days a week of being in alignment with your health and wellness goals. And when you are, this is the gradual positive habit change growth. So as you can see, we're not going to reach it in 66 days, but we continue here, and 90, 91 days-ish, you're at the point where you've repeated this behavior consistently enough to make it a new habit. Okay, so there it is. There's no shortcut to this. There's no easy way out. The sacrifice that we spoke about before is real, but you're replacing something that you know and enjoy now for something that you know is going to be better, and it won't be easy to do that. This is not easy, people. It's easy to follow. It's not easy to do. So I am going to show you how easy it is to follow it. So if you're ready right now, we're going to create a new exercise habit. If you have one already, then awesome for you. Continue with that. But if you don't, here it is. I'm going to warn you first, because if you do this in 90 days, you will have a new daily exercise habit, and it's going to last for the rest of your life. So here we go. I want to use this as an example, using the 80/20 as an exercise habit. So first of all, the trigger, right? We know our why. We know why we want to change. You know why you want to be healthy. That's an exercise in and of itself. Anchor to that why. Now let's talk about the habit. You have to create a trigger. My trigger is literally walking through the front door when I get home from work or after the day. Now, a lot of people are working from home right now. I'm recording this during the middle of a pandemic, and a lot of people are working from home. So you may not be leaving to be coming back in. So I'm going to explain, whatever way you want to adapt this to your lifestyle right now. But my trigger is literally walking through the front door after work. As soon as I do that, I basically walk right into my room after saying hi to my loved ones, of course, changing and going to my patio, or I do go to the gym twice a week to do my workout. A workout that I have already planned and I'm ready to go. Okay. Having a plan and knowing what workout you're going to do is also very important. And I'll have that for you coming up in a few slides, because it eliminates any time you have for contemplating, right? Which can easily be your downfall. You don't want to take too much time in the contemplation part. Your trigger, though, must be something you do every day. It could be simply when you wake up. It could be after your morning coffee. It could be at 6 o'clock every day. If you have a schedule where you really can, be available at 6 o'clock. I don't like using a time as a trigger, because then if something comes up and it's later, that's an easy excuse and an easy out, not to do your exercise. So I'd rather it be after you walk the dog in the morning, after lunch, before lunch. It doesn't matter really what you choose. The important thing is that this is something that happens every day for the most part in your life. And now you can choose your response. So decide on what that trigger is going to be for your exercise. Now you have to respond. So the trigger for me was walking through the door. My response is to go to my room and get changed and work out. So in this case, the response is always the same: to exercise. However, you may need a tool to keep you on track. I use the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, decide and act. Excuse me. Basically, you still have a choice to make. And for whatever reason, you may be contemplating that action. You may be tired and kids and homework and meal, whatever it is. But you immediately start the countdown in your head. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to exercise. Boom. Don't let anything else get in your way. Decide I go do it. Don't spend another second thinking about it. I guarantee you, the hardest part is getting started. Once you get started, really the hardest part is stopping. You get so into it. You get so motivated. You get that inspiration. So you'll feel great when you're done. You can check off another day and you're on your way to the 90, 91, maybe 92 days to create the habit. Now, step 3 is the reward. So you've decided on your trigger. You've decided on your response. Now, you may need to decide on a specific reward. Now, exercise obviously has many natural rewards. You're going to lose weight. You're going to have cardiovascular benefits, mood lifting, endorphins. You're just going to feel good, focus. All of those are a tremendous reward. You're going to look in the mirror and look better. That's a tremendous reward. If, however, these benefits, are not enough to raise that feel-good response for you, you can create other fun rewards. For example, you won't eat a certain treat within reason or some other food you may crave unless you work out. You may reward yourself with a gift at the end of a successful week or create a friendly competition, right? Some people use money and actually pay a fine if they miss a day. This is a negative kind of response or consequence way of treating it, but it can sometimes result in the positive reinforcement you're looking for. To be honest, for me, the reward is being able to eat more. I love to eat, kind of who doesn't. So, jogging Sunday mornings and knowing I lost 300-400 calories just makes my day so much better because I know I can really eat whatever I want. And just looking in the mirror and seeing the body changes, my abs, those are not bad rewards either. So now I've identified my entire loop. That's what you first have to do. Now you have that, you really have to pick a date and start tracking. So Monday, I'm going to start, look 90 days out and circle that day on your calendar. Get a calendar, the physical calendar, the electronic stuff is great, but put something physical on your wall, anchor to that. The final step I would highly recommend is to pick a start date and then count out 90 days from then and write it down as your new habit date. This allows you to visualize your goal and embrace the process. It took you a lifetime to develop the habits you currently have. So changing them and creating new ones will not happen overnight. Using our, the 80-20 tracker, your goal is to exercise at least 5 days a week. So you can do 4 days one week and then 6 days the next. The goal is to maintain an exercise routine at least 80% of the time, on average 5 days per week. So I always coach that it's better to focus on making a new healthy habit instead of trying to break a bad one or unhealthy habits. Because here's what happens. As you create new healthy habits, the bad ones will really be replaced. For the most part, they'll go away. If your bad habit is sitting on the couch after dinner and your new habit is walking after dinner, there goes the bad, couch habit. So in my coaching course, we teach that transformation is the continual process of letting go. You can't say that to yourself enough times. Transformation is the continual process of letting go. In order to make room for new healthy habits, we're going to learn to let go of the grip of those habits that are holding us back. Creating an exercise routine might break the habit of watching too much TV, or it may help you stick to your healthy diet since you learn to value the true cost of too many calories. Ain't that the truth? When you run for 30 minutes and you lose 300 calories and you have like one slice of tiny dessert and it's 300 calories, you're going to be like, okay, do I really want to do this right now? And those are healthy options. Those are healthy choices. It's not a way of overwhelming yourself. So now I'm going to give you your exercise routine. If you just did these 5 exercises, you're going to be, make amazing, results, and you're going to see some great changes. So here it is. Run in place. You're going to do air squats. You're going to do push-ups. You're going to do sit-ups and jumping jacks. Okay. And here's how you do it. There's an app called Tabata, Tabata. I wrote it down over here. So you could schedule this in the app. And what you do is you put 40 seconds as the exercise time and then 20 seconds rest. So you're going to run in place for 40 seconds as fast as you can. Bring your knees up, 40 seconds. Of course, I do want to say, as with anything in this course, in this program, in this webinar, get your primary doctor's permission first, okay? Everything that you learn is is going to bless you, is going to be tremendous for your transformation. But make sure that you get your doctor's permission first. So that's a little public notice that needs to be thrown in there. So once you do, here's your exercise routine. You're going to run in place for 40 seconds, 20 seconds rest. Boom, 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 boom. 20 seconds rest. Okay, air squats. That means you're just squatting. Make sure you do proper posture. Bring your butt down. Your knees don't go up, extend over your toes. If you need to hold on to a chair or something, or, just to steady yourself, that's fine. We're just starting off. You're going to try to get 10 reps in 40 seconds. So you do that 40 seconds, you rest 20 seconds. Push-ups, get on the floor. Ladies, men, you could start on your knees. You can even lean on a wall, really. You're just trying to get that push-up, position and pushing up from your hands and strengthening your chest. So you want to try to get to 10 to 20, but really, again, it's just however many you can do in 40 seconds. Sit-ups, again, these are all classic exercises. Use something to hold your feet so that you can stabilize yourself, make it a little bit easier to come up. And you want to try to get 15 and 40 seconds. Again, 20-second rest, and jumping jacks. Nice and easy pace, jumping jacks. It's great for your entire body. If your knees hurt, you can do without the jumping. You can just do the arms. We can help customize a routine for you if this is not going to be ideal for you. If you have limitations, that's fine. Email me, john@uplevelliving.com. I'll be happy to help you with a modified version for your program. But for the most part, for most people, this is it. This is the program. 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off. Doing all 5 is one cycle, and it will take you 5 minutes, right? 40 seconds and 20 seconds is 1 minute. You're doing 5 exercises, 5 minutes. So here's how I want you to create this habit. Week 1, you're going to do just one cycle. So you're going to exercise for 5 minutes. That's it. You're going to do it each exercise one time. You're done. Hallelujah. Congratulate yourself. Check it off on the 80-20 and move on. Week 2, you're going to do it twice. So you're going to repeat the cycle. So you're going to do all 5. Then you're going to rest an entire minute and do it again. So now you've exercised for 10 minutes in week 2. Week 3, yes, 3 cycles. 5 minutes, rest a minute, 5 minutes, rest a minute, 5 minutes. And week 4, we max out at 4 cycles, a total of 20 minutes of exercise. You're resting a minute in between, so it ends up to be about a 23-minute routine. So you're going to continue now. Once you reach the 4th week, you're going to continue at 4 cycles for the next 8 weeks. Now, here's the thing. Remember, it's a trigger. Do your exercise at the same general time each day, right after that trigger you set for yourself. And set a daily, weekly reward. Make sure that if your reward of the physical benefits is not enough, that you give yourself something else that you're trying to, that you're rewarding yourself with. After 90 days, you're going to have an exercise habit. I guarantee it. I've had so many clients that have done this and have been so amazed that they went from never exercising to having an exercise habit. You could do the same for any habit you want to. You could use this method for any habit you want to create. Let's face it, there are more diets in the world than one can imagine. And many of them make you count calories or points or macros, and it can quickly become overwhelming. I know because I've seen them all. I've done most of them. I've had clients that tell me about them, and that's so frustrating and stressful. So to go from a novice who just wants to get healthy and trying to understand the ratio of carbs to fats to protein, it's really not a recipe for success. It is said that, the more we need to change, the less we can handle. I'm going to say that again. The more we need change, the less we can handle. So why would you want to start a diet or exercise program that requires learning a great deal of new information or, spending a lot of time tracking your results? It's not going to be a formula that's going to work. The 80-20 approach makes it, simple. It just asks you to put a checkbox, so here, breakfast Monday, I did what I was supposed to. I put a checkbox on the. And when you are not, following the plan, you put an X. For example, did you have breakfast according to the healthy meal plan? If so, put a check mark. Well done, move on. Simple, done. If not, put an X. Too bad, move on. In both cases, we move on. When it's a check mark, you're on plan. Keep moving forward. When it's an X, you still want to move forward, but you do want to consider why you missed it. Make a mental note of it so that you can kind of avoid that sabotage the next time. We go into that in the course a little more. At first, this exercise may seem a bit too task oriented, but after a while, you'll learn to internalize it, and you can quickly go through it in your mind and see what happened, see where you fell off. Now, I want to give you some good news. So we're not counting calories. There's no guilt in missing, and here's why. If you're only between 10 and 49% consistent on the 80-20 tracker, look at some of the results you still can achieve. 11 pounds of weight loss, 5 to 6% of body weight lost, 8 to 11 inches total lost, and 2 to 3 inches from the waist. Those are some sizes that you're going down. And that's only at 10 to 49% consistent. Now, at 50 to 79% consistent, here are the results. And I want to let you know, this is where a majority of the clients end up. So this is where most people kind of like the level of consistency that they reach. But look at the results again: 12 to 17 pounds, 7% of body weight, 12 to 15 inches, and 3.5 to 4 inches from the waist. So again, tremendous progress. But here's where we want to be. Here's where a habit change happens, in the 80% area. Look at the results here: 15 to 24 pounds of weight loss, 9 to 11% body weight, 16 to 17 total inches. You're a new person, and 4 to 5.5 inches from the waist. And I do want to show you, like, for our people that are going to do this in 66 days and really never miss, it's not what we coach towards. It's not really the sustainable way to make, habit change happen, but people do. Some people just can't. And here's your results: 19 to 29 pounds lost. Yes, men typically lose more weight than women. 10 to 13% of body weight, 20 to 21 inches gone. New habits, new life, amazing results. So if progress is your goal and you steadily reach 50%, progress will happen. You may not develop a new habit in 90 days at that level, but if you keep that consistency through the course of your year, your life will begin to change and you will steadily improve. If you can average 80% in just 3 months, you can absolutely reset the foundation for an entirely new, healthy lifestyle. You'll have a new breakfast habit, a new lunch habit, new dinner habit, snack habit, water habit, exercise habit, mindset habit, and sleep habit. I mean, you are like reprogramming your entire health and wellness, foundation and baseline. I wanted to add, just a couple of testimonies from my clients, recent ones. In the spirit of Thanksgiving, I'd like to thank John and share my appreciation for everything he has done for me. His wellness program has helped me be more mindful about making healthy choices by building better life habits. I plan to keep up his easily maintainable regimen of diet and exercise for the rest of my life. Thanks mostly to John. Happy Thanksgiving. And that's exactly what we're after here. John has motivated me to get back to meeting my goals through his constant support and positivity. If you need inspiration, there it is, inspiration, and need a push, he will give you the tools to achieve your goals. Thank you, Wendy. So, just a couple there. We've really had a tremendous response at the clinic. We typically have about 40 patients at a time enrolled in the program. One gentleman, Chris Lincoln, I have to say his name, just recently, he's lost 35, 40 pounds in really just over 30 days. Amazing results. And again, he's not focused on diet or exercise. He's focused on habits. At age 51, I have my quality of life back without any drugs or restrictive lifestyle. I've literally reversed aging in my life, and you can too. You're really never too old. Chris is the gentleman I just mentioned is 63, I believe. In the 60s. And my oldest client is in her 80s. So all you need is 90 days. The next step is the easiest one: enroll in the online course. Not only am I going to make you that's just a great offer here, but I'm going to give you a free download of my book. So there's an e-version of the book, the Midlife Total Transformation Manual, as a gift. Now, the reason why this program works: there's clarity, there's direction, and accountability. Clarity, again, is the why beneath the why, helping you dial in and be real focused with your purpose, with your identity, so that you really understand how important this is. Okay. Number two is the direction. Obviously, those are the steps. They're not easy to do, but they're easy to follow. And number three is the accountability, a weekly update on the 80/20 tracking worksheet. Now, your transformation, 20% of it is all this information, 80% of it is the action. So, a person who never writes down their goal but has a goal only has about a 5% chance to succeed. Now, when you write down your goal, and you put benchmarks and you put smaller goals and steps in there, you have about a 35% chance to succeed. So you really up your chances a great deal. Now, when you add an accountability partner, which is what I am, your chances to succeed go up to about 70%. So when you have to report your progress to someone on a daily or weekly basis, that's really why it becomes so successful. That's why successful people work with health coaches and mentors, because it's that feedback loop. It's that accountability that makes a huge difference in achieving your goals. So right now, obviously, you're at a moment of decision here. I'm going to invite you to enroll in the course or give me a call and have a free consultation. The best thing you could do right now, this is a Theodore Roosevelt quote, is to do the right thing and enroll. And then the next best thing you could do is the wrong thing. Choose something else. Keep on hunting. It's that you want to do this right now. This makes sense, but you choose something else. That's actually the next best thing you can do. But the worst thing you can do right now is close the laptop or turn off the phone wherever you're at and do nothing. Okay. Taking no action, accepting your situation, and continuing down a path you don't want to be on any longer. So I know you'll make the right decision. We're here to help you. We're ready again to schedule a discovery call. I'll show you how to do it or enroll in the course. This is a quote that I love. A healthy person has 1,000 wishes, but a sick person only has one. I wish sickness on no one. But you think about the time you don't feel well, or if something, serious illness is a challenge for you or has been. This is so true. We always, when you talk about wishes or prayers, that health is always the first thing that we wish for, but we don't have to just wish for it. We can be anything can happen to anybody, but you could be in a lot more control of your health than you are right now. So, I want to make you guys this offer. I want to thank you for watching this webinar. You just need to go to uplevel-living.teachable.com. Teachable is a great website where, people like me can upload courses. And if you select the 12-week online program, you can use the code New Year to save $90, and you only pay $9. I really wanted to make it, obviously, practically giving it away, but just cover some of the costs and give people a chance to understand and what habit change can do for your life. Going to the doctor and getting a prescription, that's the old way of doing things. You want to be in charge of your health and wellness, and you want to understand you can reverse chronic illnesses. No medication you take will ever cure those things. If they did, why are you still taking it? And if they did, why is everything getting worse? Why are people becoming more obese? Why are there more cases of diabetes, right? It has to be a lifestyle change. So anyway, use the code New Year. I'm not sure when you're watching this webinar. There is a chance that you're watching it and the code has expired. If it has, please email me, John at Uplevel Living, and I'll let you know what the other options are. But if you watch it, at this point, you go to uplevel-living.teachable.com. You click on the 12-week online program, which is $99. You put the code New Year, and you'll only be charged $9. Now, you also get, in addition to the course, you're going to be able to log into the Coach Connect Meal app, which has everything you need. It'll put you, we'll pick a diet. Usually we start on the 14-day elimination diet, and it gives you everything, your shopping list, your meals, your recipes. You track it every day. So that alone is a tremendous value. We do weekly webinars on our Facebook page. You'll be getting weekly newsletters from me. The weekly YouTube videos on our YouTube channel. There's group coaching sessions. The free e-copy of the book. There's just so much value here. I really want to just introduce you to what this is, introduce you to health coaching, and maybe from here you're good and you change your life and you don't need anything else, and that's awesome. I hope that for you. But if you do, there will definitely be other resources that I can offer you. This is what the page looks like when you go there. Again, uplevel-living.teachable.com. You just click on enroll now, And then this is what you would select. If you want to do the 12-week course, it's $99. You put the code New Year and it will be $9. But you'll see some other options there. Basically, the options are how much one-on-one health coaching you would want. But again, there's the course is everyone gets that course no matter what you select. So you're not losing out on anything. But if you wanted more accountability, if you wanted more one-on-one health coaching, more customized, feedback, then you could choose one of the other options. That's all I have for you guys. I really want to thank you for taking this habit change webinar. I hope that it really helps you to do that. Use the 80/20 tracker. You could just email me, john@uplevelliving.com. I'd be happy to get a copy to you. And thank you. All I want to leave you with is this: make yourself a priority. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.